It's another exciting day for downloaders. Just 2 weeks from the festival, we got the map. We got the map finally, and I'm gonna just have a look at it and sort of react to it today. Alright, so this thing is pretty massive. I think I'm gonna have to kind of react to it and kind of look at it in sections because of how big it is, and I need to kind of zoom in to actually be able to read what's going on here. It's a big map. So we'll just start at the far left side first. On here we've got Yellow Camp, which is also Quiet Camp, Blue Camp, West Car Park, and Black Camp. There's a few little other things that I can pick up on there. This is also where the coach and shuttle bus stop thing is, where you get dropped off, I think. There's also a taxi drop off here. The campsites, I think my camp is mainly considering either blue or maybe black. It's definitely one of the biggest camps on here, and I feel like Black Camp's going to fill up really early because it's like the closest one to the village that I can see on this side. Yellow would be a last resort because of how far away it is. If you're going to be camping in Yellow, just be prepared for a bit of a walk, because obviously the campsites are going to be massive this year like they used to be before lockdown, because it's sold out, so there's going to be a lot of space to cover. When I looked at this earlier, I actually noticed something on Black Camp. If you zoom in on Black Campsite, there's a little Bring Me the Horizon logo next to the toilet signs and the whatever all those other signs are. I don't really know what all of those are yet. It does tell you what most of these symbols mean at the bottom. I can't see any of the band logos anywhere on this map, but there's a little Bring Me the Horizon logo in Black Camp. What could this mean? Onto the sort of middle part of the map. This is where District X is, the new village, the new name for the village, District X. I like it. I really like it. Now, looking at it straight away, it does look a lot like last year's for the straight line where it's going to be. It's definitely going to be on the same sort of area by the looks of it, on the tarmac, leading all the way down to the co-op and then to the arena, which I loved that. I loved one thing I praised last year was how short the walk to the arena was. I'm sure most people love that as well. It was such a better walk than it used to be. Newly added next to the co-op, we've got the side splitter tent, which is the comedy tent. That's cool. I've been to those before in the past. They're a really good laugh. I mean, you'd expect that, obviously. Also, I can see just below that, I can see all the RIP camps. So if you're in RIP camp, then you're next to co-op and obviously next to the walks to the arena, but you probably already know that. You can see all the food, the fairground, drinks, toilets, bars, probably merch stand in there somewhere. Charged candy, that's an important one. There's also public showers that are free for anyone who's using them. I'll definitely be using those this year. And then the main event at the top of the village is the doghouse. I've heard this year that the doghouse is going to have a roof on it again, which is really exciting. We loved the original doghouse design. Big blue, iconic tent. It's been there every year apart from last year, and as much as I really enjoyed the outdoor doghouse that we had last year in between all those large containers, it was certainly different, and I really did like it. But I think I do prefer the tent. I think just because of just what we're more used to. I'm not really bothered either way, but from what I have heard, the doghouse is going to be having a roof on it this year, so whatever that means, if that is the tent or it's just going to have some sort of roof across what it was last year, then either way, that's fine. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'll be there probably every night that I'm there. If it's your first time going to download, the doghouse is basically the party at the end of every night of the festival. It goes on like all night till the early hours of the morning. It's pop punk, metalcore, new metal, just metal in general. It's fucking awesome, and just a nice other things certainly to do on the first 2 days usually. So behind the doghouse, behind the village, there's Green Campsite now. This is new. I don't think this was there last year. I can't actually remember now. But Green Campsite, that looks like a cool place to camp as well, to be honest. Obviously it's right behind the village. So I can also see Guest Campsite, Guest and Press Campsite. We're not quite there yet. Maybe one day. Fresh Retreat is actually next to that as well. So maybe if I ever did finally get into that campsite, maybe I'd consider doing that again. Just saying. And there's also some accessible parking, an accessible campsite for people that need that. Yeah, I think I've covered most things on there. I think I mentioned the co-op as well. Obviously, co-op, you can get so much from the co-op. Basically the same price that it would be in a normal co-op, which is still a bit expensive in my opinion. I don't really shop at co-op because it's expensive, but co-op, it's here, and it's definitely one of the best things at download for necessities, food, drink. We've got the North car park and the East car park. There's so much car parking. Obviously, it's very needed. I'm glad that they've got that. Next to that, we've got Red Campsite, Purple Campsite, and Orange Campsite. All of these are just like new additions. I don't think we had any of these last year, but I can't actually remember. Maybe we had Red. But there is a lot more coloured camps this year than there was last year. It's kind of gone back to how it used to be again, obviously, because it's a sold out event and they need to have these camps. It's yeah, I don't want to end up in any of these camps because they're all too far away for my liking. I don't really want to be at this side of the festival. I'm always at the other side. But these campsites are needed for everybody who arrives there, maybe even a day late. If you arrive on the Thursday for camping, then you're probably going to end up in one of these. The other ones are definitely going to be filled up by then. There's also Camping Plus here for those people that couldn't get a normal ticket and now have Camping Plus tickets. Looks like you're camping there. It looks like it kind of takes shortcuts over the racetrack to get down to the arena from those campsites because of how far away they are, so that's cool. And obviously you can make your way into the village that way as well. That's about it for that part. Finally, the part that I've looked at the least, the arena. I've been more interested in what the village looks like and how the camps are laid out this year than anything else. Standard setup as usual. We've got the Dog 2 stage at the top. The big wheel looks like it might have moved actually. I'm sure those wheels just mean rides in general, but there's 2 dotted out across this map that I can see straight away. So does that mean the wheel has moved to the top and it's not so close to the main stage like it usually is? Obviously, the main stage is an enormous area this year. I can already see from how... That's probably why they've moved the rides, to be fair. So there's a bigger space for all the crowds. Yeah, this is an enormous area. It's going to be bigger than we've ever seen it before, 100%. There's a cross at the top of the map as well, and it's... I've lost the list of what it was. Is that some sort of church? Because there used to be a blow-up church at Download, so if they've brought that back but put it in the arena, that's so cool. It only stopped being there after 2016, which is when I first started going, so I did see it in 2016, and I went to one of the weddings, and it was just a weird experience. There's Charge Candy, obviously all the bars and stuff looks like they're all at the top again, like they usually are. There's merch stands up there as well, and probably other stalls, just you know, things that you want to go look round when you've got no bands on. Moving around there's the Opera stage, the second stage. Still think it should be called the Zippo Encore stage like it used to be. Obviously this stage is also a massive area, going to have some enormous acts on there. And then cutting through there, it's to the Avalanche stage, or you can go all the way around the other way to get to the Avalanche stage, where there's going to be, it's another big tent stage. All standard setup for Download, it's the same every year. Like, we like how it's, I do like how it's set up like this. I think it really works. The stages are all split out nicely so you can't hear one or the other at the same time unless you're close enough to one of them to do that. Obviously, more food, more bars, toilets, water, your essential things. I know that they've cut a lot of the clothing stalls out of the arena this year and put them in the village, or they're just not coming to the festival at all because there's just not enough space. They need the space for the people. They know it's a sold out event, so they've made extra space. I'm not going to lie, I'm sort of worried about the amount of people that are going to be there. It's going to be a massive shock to the system for a lot of us. I'm really excited to it, looking forward to meeting everybody obviously, but there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of queuing. Quite stressful for some things, maybe toilets and food and drink. If you're really thirsty and there's massive queues, it's going to be a bit stressful, but we're all just going to have to get on with it. It's going to be a fucking awesome time anyway. That's the arena. I think I've covered most main things on there. There's nothing new on there that I can really see. And that's the Download 2023 map. Obviously there's parts on there that I didn't cover. I'm not going to go through every gate and every car park and every mini little camp thing going on in everywhere, because there's a lot to read on here. If you want to look at it, get the app or go on the website. I've never done a map reaction sort of video on here before, so I thought this year is definitely the year to start doing that. I've also got a bunch more videos planned over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to try and get as many out as possible. It's all very, very real now. Anyway, there's your map. Enjoy. Let me know what you think of it. And let me know, what do you think that Bring Me the Horizon symbol means in Black Camp? I'm obviously very interested in what that could be. See you again soon for some more Download content.